Hello, nerds! Thank you for joining me here on Nerd News Clips. This is the second channel. This is the place for all of the short-form content as well as the individual sections and just generally speaking smaller things. If you are into the longer form content, youtube.com/generallynerdy is the place to go see that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Now we've got episodic content to get out of the way. This formerly known as the TV streaming section. I just felt like episodic content was a little more succinct and to the point because TV streaming is kind of a mouthful, takes up a lot of space on a thumbnail for the YouTubes. But yeah, TV streaming, episodic content, that's where we're going. We do have follow-ups, we do have trailers, follow-ups with Cobra Kai, Wednesday, Last of Us, Buffy, The Flash, trailers for Superman and Lois, Mandalorian, Power Rangers. Man, this is just, we're just gonna be going on forever for this section. I'm warning you now, it's gonna be a long video. All right, so Wednesday. Season 2 has officially been announced. They are going to do it. No dates or anything just yet, but no, it is in the pipeline. Let's move on. Next, we have Cobra Kai. Season 6 has been announced as the final season for the story. You can go check out the official Twitter page for this letter to the fans. That is pretty cool, though kind of disheartening because season 6 is the end. It's been a great ride. It's been worth a watch. It's been a lot of fun to watch. So join in the final season, won't you? No specific date of release has been given just yet, just that this is going to be the last of it. Speaking of the last, we have The Last of Us. This is a follow-up because we talked about the release previously and now it's out, and there's one really big noteworthy piece about episode 1 going into episode 2, and that is two pieces, I guess, to note. First, episode 1 is the third largest streaming debut that HBO Max has ever seen, so that's pretty freaking awesome. And then episode 2 was 22% larger than that. So that's pretty awesome. Keep up the good work with this show specifically. I don't know about the rest of the stuff you got going on HBO Max or soon to be Max, but we'll talk about that again probably in the not too distant future. Let's move next, though, over to Buffy. That's right, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar has kind of dashed all hopes for a reboot, at least a reboot that concerns her specifically. She said that she's all down for a reboot that is a legacy sequel situation in that it's a new Slayer, but because the main themes are adolescence and overcoming the challenges therein, she's no longer an adolescent. It wouldn't make sense for her. And she said that she's actually rather proud of the show that they've created and that to go back to that would kind of tarnish the legacy. So there you have it. No Sarah Michelle Gellar, at least, related Buffy reboot series. Next, we have The Flash in the follow-up section, and Stephen Amell is going to be reprising his role as the Green Arrow in the final season, Season 9 of The Flash. So that's pretty awesome, fairly epic. That's all we got for follow-ups. Let's get into trailers, won't you? Superman and Lois Season 3 trailer is out now. Go check it out. It's pretty intriguing. We've got some Superman and Lois news coming at you here in just a second as well, but March 14th is when that launches. Mandalorian is the next trailer that we've got. This one looks to be quite epic. I think this is the only thing that has me super stoked on Star Wars these days, and this trailer definitely does a lot to fan those flames, man. Go check this one out. March 1st is when Mandalorian starts dropping. Power Rangers, this is a pretty interesting one. This is kind of a news announcement alongside this trailer and images and things. But we have the 30th anniversary of the original Power Rangers in America series. It's going to be a special on Netflix. And coming back to the franchise will be David Yost, who was Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger. We have Walter Emmanuel Jones, who was Zach Taylor, the Black Ranger. We have Steve Cardenas, Rocky DeSantos, the second Red Ranger, and Catherine Sutherland, Cat Hillard, the second Pink Ranger, joined by Johnny Young Bosch and Karen Ashley, who was the second Black Ranger and the second Yellow Ranger, respectively. This is going to be really huge for older millennial types like myself who actually watched the original series of Power Rangers, because I definitely watched the first 2 seasons, I believe. I think that's about the time that I aged out. But yeah, watched the first Power Rangers movie and the whole 9, man. So yeah, pretty awesome. Though, of note is the actress who played Kimberly, Amy Jo Johnson, has said that she would be willing to do the thing. So that's kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. Sounds like maybe there's a money dispute going on there, maybe? Moving on. All right. So next we're talking about Invincible. The trailer for Invincible Season 2 is kind of not really a trailer, but also kind of is a trailer, but it's like a super meta trailer. So yeah, it's more of a featurette, if you will. This featurette features Alan the Alien from Season 1, voiced by Seth Rogen, and it's pretty great. It doesn't really give us a date specifically, just says sometime late 2023, so it will be here soon. It just took them 2 years to get to this point, which kind of sucks, but there you go. Next, we're talking about Harley Quinn. This is a trailer not for the next season of Harley Quinn, but for the Valentine's Day special. The Valentine's Day special is going to be called A Very Problematic Valentine's Day Special. It will launch February 19th, once again on HBO Max. I'm sure you are already anticipating that part. Then we have Carnival Row Season 2 drops its first batch of episodes February 17th. The trailer, linked also in the description, just like the rest of these trailers, looks pretty great. If you didn't watch the first season of Carnival Row and you like fantasy stories, you really owe yourself. This was a quality. It is definitely a more adult version of a fantasy story. So maybe nobody under the age of 13 probably should be watching this. It's not like there's a lot of like nakedness or anything like that, or even all that much strong language, but it's pretty violent and fairly bloody. So just know that going in if you got the little ones around, but it's quality. It was good. This is going to be the final season. They are only doing 2 seasons. We talked about that when it was originally announced a few months before we went into the off season. They're just reiterating this is going to be the final batch, dropping, I believe, in 3 separate drops, though don't hold me to that, because that, again, is one of those things that one news source said it, but the rest of them maybe didn't. So yeah, there you go. And our final trailer for this episode is a very out of the blue but very welcome comedy series coming to Hulu, and that is History of the World Part 2. That's right, Mel Brooks actually is giving us a part 2 to the History of the World movie. So this, again, is going to be a series on Hulu. It drops March 6th. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the entire series like they do with most of their stuff, or if they're going to do it in an episode at a time or a group of episodes at a time. That was not exactly explicitly laid out, but it's Mel Brooks. It's the continuation to one of his classics. I don't know that we can go wrong. Go check out the trailer. Let's move right along, shall we? So let's move into the regular old news. We got regular news about, again, Superman and Lois. We got a casting announcement for Season 3. Michael Cudlitz is going to be playing their Lex Luthor. That name might sound familiar if you've watched The Walking Dead. That's right, he was the ginger-headed Abraham from The Walking Dead. He's done a number of other things as well, but that's probably the most nerdy, noteworthy thing that he has done, at least recently, and now he's going to be Lex Luthor. Very interesting. Not exactly an actor I would think for that role specifically, but he's got the chops, so let's see what happens, man. Our next piece of regular old news is actually kind of dark, and it's unfortunate that things like this in the world happen and that we got to talk about them, but here we are, and that is Rick and Morty. That's right. We're talking about the controversy that's been going on for a little bit. We've alluded to this previously, and now it has finally come to a head. So, the series co-creator Justin Roiland, who also voices Rick and Morty both, and then other characters throughout the series, just kind of side characters and one-off characters and such like that, has been fired from the project. Justin Roiland will not be returning to Rick and Morty. That means they have to recast the voice actors for the main characters of this show, based on the fact that he has officially been charged with not being a great guy to ladies. Trying to keep that as PG as possible for the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, just a really crummy situation. And honestly, any victim of this situation is really where your sympathies should go, because this is not cool. This is not pretty. This is not a good thing to be talking about, but here we are once again. So yeah, knowing that there are plenty of people that are capable of doing the voice work, and they have the other series co-creator still there for the showrunner, and I don't know that they're really going to miss a beat with this, which is a testament to their durability and strength as a creative team, which is awesome. They are not yet halfway through the 70 episode renewal that they got a little over a year ago now, I believe it was. So there we go. Rick and Morty, darkness. Let's get out of this, shall we? All right, we're moving on now into suggestions for episodic content. This is actually a double suggestion because both of these series definitely worth your time. The Peripheral and The Last of Us, both of these series you simply must be watching. William Gibson writes amazing, amazing books, and finally one of his books got very well adapted to a live-action project, and then just The Last of Us is kind of becoming a cultural phenomenon, and for good reason, because it's quality storytelling. This is a great example of how you can alter the source material while still remaining true to the source material and keeping the fans happy all at the same time. So yeah, go check out both The Peripheral and The Last of Us. Once again, this has been just a brief segment from the larger episode that has been posted over on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Go over there for the long form content, or just subscribe here if you want it in bite-sized chunks. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. We'll see you in the next one. Before we go though, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.